His statement. I give the floor now to the representative of Pakistan.
Thank you, Madam President. We would like to also join colleagues in thanking Director General Grossi and Under Secretary General Di Carlo for their briefings. Madam President, Pakistan strongly condemns unjustified and illegitimate aggression by Israel against the Islamic Republic of Iran. Pakistan stands in resolute solidarity with the brotherly people of Iran. We offer our sympathies and condolences on the loss of life and damages due to these heinous attacks. The Israeli military strikes violate the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Iran and clearly contravene the UN Charter and fundamental principles of international law. We unequivocally denounce these blatant provocations, which constitute a grave danger and a serious threat to the peace, security, and stability of the entire region and beyond, with serious implications. Iran has the right to self-defense under Article 51 of the UN Charter. Madam President, these attacks follow a dangerous pattern of Israeli irresponsible conduct marked by ongoing military operations in Gaza and repeated cross-border strikes in Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen, demonstrating a consistent and deliberate disregard for international norms. Israel's actions in the Middle East reflect a continuing pattern of unilateral militarism in flagrant violation of Article 2(4) of the UN Charter and represent acts of aggression as defined under General Assembly Resolution 3314 of 1974. Israel's serial breaches of sovereignty normalize impunity, erode the authority of the United Nations, and gravely undermine the international order. Such blatant aggression and contempt for international law has already had devastating consequences. In Gaza, tens of thousands of civilians have been killed as a result of Israeli military onslaught, and a humanitarian catastrophe has unfolded under an illegal blockade that has in fact been there for over 15 years. In Syria, Yemen, and Lebanon, Israeli airstrikes have repeatedly targeted sovereign territory, undermining regional stability and exacerbating tensions. The fact that these attacks against Iran have happened in the middle of a negotiations process aimed at finding a peaceful diplomatic solution to the Iranian nuclear issue makes it all the more morally repugnant and against international norms. These actions risk eroding the trust and sanctity of the negotiations process, so crucial for the peaceful settlement of these issues. Madam President, Pakistan reaffirms its support for the resolution of the Iranian nuclear issue through peaceful means, diplomatic engagement, and sustained dialogue. The JCPOA was an outcome of painstaking and arduous yet constructive negotiations. It charted a roadmap to comprehensively address the concerns of the parties involved by clearly defining their relevant obligations and responsibilities. The illegal use of force against Iran and the ensuing situation are likely to frustrate the ongoing diplomatic efforts and could destabilize a region that is already under very severe stress. The ongoing diplomatic context to reach a negotiated deal and other endeavors to promote regional peace and security must not be allowed to be appended. It is highly regrettable that these attacks have happened when the IAEA was continuing its verification activities in Iran. Such actions threaten the IAEA's technical work, which should be supported and not disrupted. Israel has violated international law, IAEA statute, and several IAEA resolutions by attacking the IAEA safeguarded facilities. In addition to serious violation of international law, these attacks risk setting a dangerous negative precedent and pose a grave threat to safety of populations in the region and around the globe. Pakistan, as an immediate neighbor of Iran, is therefore seriously concerned. Security Council Resolution 487 strongly affirmed such attacks as a clear violation of the UN Charter, the norms of international conduct, and a serious threat to the entire IAEA safeguard regime. We call on all parties, Madam President, to fulfill their respective obligations and responsibilities and avoid escalation. Even in these testing times, diplomatic engagement and dialogue must be prioritized. Clearly, the international community is in favor of peace and stability in the region. In a few days, next week, the international community, the UN membership, was to come together to express its will to chart the path for the Palestinian state as part of the two-state solution that would usher in the long-awaited, just, and durable peace in the Middle East. Israel's reckless and irresponsible behavior cannot be allowed to jeopardize the efforts for peace, endanger the stability of the entire region, and risk wider escalation, thereby threatening global peace and security. The Security Council bears primary responsibility to maintain international peace and security and to stop this aggression immediately. It must hold the aggressor accountable for its actions. This Council must deny Israel the free hand and the impunity with which it continues to operate in defiance of international law and international opinion. It is also our collective responsibility to reject any notions by anyone, anywhere, that seek to distort, misuse, and abuse the right of self-defense in violation of international law and the UN Charter. Finally, this Council must collectively muster the courage to take positions and adopt decisions that are in full conformity with the Charter of the United Nations. In accordance with its responsibility, the Council should encourage, support, and prioritize dialogue and diplomacy to advance peaceful resolution of conflicts. That is the only viable path forward, as many around the table have also echoed in their comments. I thank you, Madam President.